Your paycheck just hit. The bank app shows $2,400, and for 10 seconds, you feel rich. Then rent, insurance, subscriptions, and a forgotten annual bill reach for the same money. By Monday, you are asking, where did my paycheck go? The problem is not a missing perfect budget. The money arrived without an order. Part of the balance already belongs to bills, part protects you from bad timing, and only the remainder is free to spend. Here is a simple payday sequence for 2026. It takes 20 minutes, works with one bank or several accounts, and avoids a magic percentage split. We will run a complete example using a $2,400 take-home paycheck. First, do not move anything until the deposit is real. Open the transaction, confirm the net amount, and compare it with your pay statement. Check hours, overtime, commissions, taxes, insurance, and retirement deductions. A payroll mistake is easier to solve before you build a plan around the wrong number. In our example, gross pay is $3,200. Taxes and payroll deductions total $800, leaving a confirmed net deposit of $2,400. That net number, not the salary printed on the job offer, is the starting point for payday. Next, look forward only until the following paycheck. Your first job is not to fund every expense for the rest of your life. It is to identify every obligation that can leave checking before new income arrives again. Open your calendar, bank app, and recent statements together. List rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments, childcare, transportation, subscriptions, and any irregular charge that lands inside this pay window. If the amount varies, use a cautious estimate based on recent bills. For our example, the next 14 days include $825 for housing, $160 for utilities, $140 for insurance, $90 for phone and internet, $60 for subscriptions, and $50 for the credit card minimum. That is $1,325 already committed. Treat that $1,325 as unavailable. You can leave it in checking, move it to a separate bills account, or place it inside a bank subaccount. The tool matters less than the boundary. When you see that money, it should read bills, not weekend spending. This is also when automation becomes useful, but only after you confirm timing. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau notes that automatic payments can help prevent late bills, yet a low balance can still trigger overdraft or insufficient funds fees. Automation is safest when the money is reserved before the debit arrives. Now, build or restore a checking floor. This is not your emergency fund. It is a small timing buffer that stays in the account to absorb a delayed deposit, a utility bill that posts early, a restaurant tip that settles late, or a fuel charge that changes after authorization. Do not choose the floor because an influencer said everyone needs exactly $1,000. Look at your account history. Find the largest normal timing swing between payday and bill day, then add a modest cushion. If starting feels difficult, begin with $100 or $250 and increase it gradually. Our example has a $500 checking floor. Before payday, the account was at $325, so $175 of this paycheck restores the floor. The account now has $500 that is not part of the spending plan. After bills and the checking floor, pay your future self. Start with emergency savings. The Federal Reserve reported in May 2026 that 63% of adults could cover a $400 emergency using cash or its equivalent. That also means millions of households still do not have that first layer of protection. Your emergency target depends on your job stability, household, insurance, health, transportation, and past surprises. The CFPB specifically says the right amount depends on your situation. The first useful milestone might be $500, then 1 month of essential expenses, and later a larger reserve. In our example, $250 moves to emergency savings on payday. The transfer happens only after the deposit is confirmed and the upcoming bills are reserved. That order prevents a savings transfer from accidentally creating an overdraft 2 days later. If your employer allows split direct deposit, you can send part of every paycheck directly to savings. Otherwise, schedule a bank transfer for payday or the next morning. Add a low balance alert to checking and review the transfer amount whenever income or bills change. Next comes expensive debt. Keep every required minimum inside the bills bucket because missing a minimum can create fees and credit damage. Then decide whether extra cash should attack the highest interest balance. Credit card interest can erase progress much faster than a small checking account reward can create it. Our example sends an extra $200 to the credit card, in addition to the $50 minimum already reserved. The payment screen clearly shows extra principal, $200. That wording matters because the viewer should understand this is an additional payment, not the entire required payment. Then check workplace retirement. If an employer offers a match, understand the plan rules before leaving matching dollars unused. Contributions often come directly from payroll, so they may already be included in the deductions you verified at the beginning. For money beyond the workplace plan, account choice depends on taxes, eligibility, goals, and access needs. The IRS says the 2026 employee limit for most 401k plans is $24,500, and the IRA limit is $7,500. Those are ceilings, not targets or promises. Our fictional worker chooses to invest $100 after the emergency transfer and extra debt payment. Someone with no emergency cushion or a very high credit card rate may choose a different order after capturing any employer match. The sequence should protect the household before it tries to optimize every dollar. Now we reach the money that is truly flexible. Start with $2,400. Reserve $1,325 for bills. Restore the checking floor with $175. Move $250 to emergency savings, $200 extra to debt, and $100 to investing. That leaves $350 for groceries not already reserved, fuel, personal spending, and fun until the next payday. Because every earlier dollar has a job, spending this remainder does not require guilt. But it does require honesty. When the flexible bucket reaches zero, payday has not magically created more room. Here is the full order again. Confirm the deposit. Reserve every bill due before the next paycheck. Restore your checking floor. Automate emergency savings. Pay required debt minimums and choose an extra payment strategy. Capture the employer match if available. Invest according to your plan, and then define the flexible remainder. If your income changes every pay period, build the plan around a conservative normal paycheck, not the best month you have ever had. Cover essential obligations first. When a larger check arrives, use a pre-decided rule for the extra, perhaps emergency savings, taxes for self-employment, debt, or a sinking fund for irregular bills. If you're paid weekly, the same system uses a 7-day window. If you are paid monthly, the bill's window is longer and the checking floor deserves more attention. The calendar changes, but the order does not. Protect commitments before treating the balance as spendable. Set 3 alerts before you close the app. Deposit received, any transaction above a number you choose, and checking below your floor. Alerts are not a budget. They are guardrails that tell you when reality has moved away from the plan. Finally, schedule a 10-minute review the day before the next paycheck. Confirm which payments cleared, note anything that changed, and carry forward only real numbers. A payday system improves because you correct it, not because you guessed perfectly on day one. The goal is not to make payday boring. The goal is to stop a large balance from lying to you. When money arrives in a clear order, bills become predictable, savings happen before leftovers disappear, and the amount you can spend becomes smaller, but honest. If this helped, subscribe to Cody Invest for practical money systems built around real life in America. And remember, this video is educational, not individualized financial, tax, or investment advice. Your best order depends on your income, debts, benefits, and household.